Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun. So y'all, I had taken a nap yesterday, and so I was just up. So I was like, let me just turn on the YouTube and see what's going on. So I came across of Black Hollywood history, right? So they had this big story on about Carlos King and all of the trouble that he's into. Let's get into it. So it started out with Sophia, So Gucci Williams, and she was like saying that So Gucci felt like after she realized what was really going on, this was more than content for the show. And by bringing on her husband's ex wife without her knowing about it in the middle of her filming, it was to be messy, and this started to take a toll on her family. And then shout out to Black Hollywood history because in this particular scene, she said then, so Gucci gave an interview to a blogger, Millie Chun, where she told everything. Thank you for that. Then they went on to say that when Sophia talked about that, people were just kind of thinking, is Carlos playing with people's real life just to get a moment, right? It didn't stop there. It went here. Child, and she brought up Mel. She said, if you think Gucci's case is big, Mel's is more explosive, right? And then as they were talking, they went on and brought up Destiny and the grooming situation and how it was in the captions of all the cable networks. And Mel did not want that in there. So they went on to say that Mel didn't just have to hear about it, she had to deal with it as being the title of the show. And for this, Mel felt like it was crossing the line, right? And then they wanted to know, did Carlos do this for ratings and views? So basically, they were saying, how far would Carlos and his team go, for ratings and views, right? And this is the exact reason why Mel is gearing up to sue, because this is not just being messy, but this is defamation of character. Child, Black Hollywood history. Let's keep going. So then, child, they said it's not just love and marriage. It's not just Bell Collective, but there are other people from other shows who are considering speaking out about Carlos. But then it goes on to say that Mel's case is the big case that has everybody paying attention and thinking about coming out. Chardonnay got back to Mel, and it said she was not only upset, but Mel was furious that production made this the title of the show that she's having to deal with. And she's asked them not to do it, but they did it anyway. Child, then they said people from Love and Marriage have said things who have left the show, but they went on to say that Carlos, um, there was a leak about how he edits shows, and he edits them in order to make people look worse than they really are. Now, you know how he feels about an edit. Oh my goodness. Child, and she went on to say that, Mel is not happy with how it went, and they had the power to cut that edit out of the grooming situation. But child, they said if Mel goes through with this lawsuit, it will be the biggest lawsuit in reality TV history. Oh my gosh. Child, but now they say an insider who knows Carlos has come forward, right? And said that he is known to push his people into uncomfortable situations to get certain moments. Like they said this is no longer Bell Collective. This is no longer Love and Marriage Huntsville. There's no Gucci allegations and no male lawsuits. This is somebody that we do not know has now come out speaking about Carlos. I don't know why I didn't say this earlier, but of course, this is all alleged, right? I got it from Black Hollywood history. But they're saying that Carlos has people in contracts, and those people feel trapped in their contracts and they cannot get out, and they are made to do things that they do not want to do. I mean, they're made to film scenes that they don't want to film. Wow. And then they gave an example, and I think it's Monique Samuels, because they said that Carlos had promised them a fair edit. But when the show had come on, they made them look like the villain. Now, that could be either Monique or it could be Winter. But that's what was said. Child, and then she went on to say that this was like power, right? Where Carlos allegedly fed certain castmates certain things and they were to use them on camera to get certain responses out of people. Like I said, it's all alleged. But y'all, wait a minute. I can't wait for this part right here. Child, now I don't know how true this is. This is really alleged. So in this whole thing, they were saying how Carlos was allegedly fired from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, right? But not because of why we think Phaedra being fed the information about the dungeon with Candy and Portia. But allegedly, he was getting ready to do a tell-all story about Apollo Nida, Phaedra's husband, ex-husband. And Phaedra did not know about it. She flipped out and they fired Carlos because Phaedra was pissed. Had you heard that? I had never heard that. Child, towards the end, she said that there was a producer that has come out to speak out about Carlos and say that people were given roles to play if they didn't want to play them. And if they didn't do what Carlos said, they would be given a very bad edit. And also, lies were fed to the castmates to get a certain reaction and views. Who is the production person that came out? So the production person that is coming out talking, they're saying that Carlos allegedly cut scenes from people to give them a great edit as long as they play the role and do what he says to do. And others who don't do that, they get a bad edit, right? And they went on to say, if this lawsuit goes through, Carlos may be forced to pass over edits, notes, and everything else, and we will see the whole reality TV that he's dealing with, we'll see it totally different. And you know how we talked about how Mel was edited out so we couldn't see her response at the reunion, even on the unedited version? Y'all, this would be bad. And to end it all up, they was like, all these people could get together and file a class action lawsuit. And this could really be the end of his career. So the question is, are there lawsuits ready? Is Gucci going to do something? I don't know. When is Mel going to show up? What is she going to do? And then, are they going to do something about Destiny? And then on top of all that, do y'all believe all of this? Like, I mean, some of it, because it just happened, it seems kind of truthful. But what threw me was the Apollo and the Phaedra thing. Because I thought it was always Apollo. I mean, not Apollo, but Phaedra, Candy, and Portia. But come to find out, he was trying to do a tell-all movie about Apollo, allegedly. Kind of like what he was trying to do to tell-all with Candy. Y'all, let's talk about it in the comments, because this is a lot. It's your girl, Millie Chan. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.